Hey guys, loads of people have been asking me who am I going to vote for tomorrow in the general election. It's a very difficult thing for me to decide on. Know me, I've been an avid Labour supporter for years, been involved in the party and all stuff, worked for loads of Labour MPs and stuff like that. And people always know me to be affiliated with the party. However, I've withdrew myself from when was it, 2015 or something like that. Anyway, and that was just mainly because I wasn't too happy. I thought, obviously, and also seeing behind the scenes, of like some of these politicians, like a lot of them don't give a fuck, but there are generally, there are some who really care and really want to do the best and help people in society. So yeah, and one of those people is Jeremy Corbyn. Um, for me personally, I don't think I know. There's always been that question: is he a leader? I think in some aspects he can be, but if we're comparing him to someone like Barack Obama and leaders like across the world, um, like Angela Merkel and people like that, I don't know. I don't really see him as being that strong leader. He can be a leader, but I don't think he's strong enough. And has those great leadership qualities. He's got one or two, but not the full package. Um, and whereas, even though I'm not a fan of Theresa May or the Conservatives, I feel like Theresa May, in terms of leadership, she wins on that. But another thing for me is just like we've spent 7 years under this conservative austerity cuts. We've seen cuts on the left, right, and centre. We've seen cuts on the NHS, people's pay rises, being freezed in the NHS, nurses, doctors, like junior doctors, like these people out here saving people's lives. Especially in the terrorist attacks, so many people would put their life um, at risk to help people, police, everyone, and a lot of and Theresa May was warned from last no yeah the Conservative government was warned that these cuts would affect and put us at risk to terrorism, risk to danger, and we've seen that, and we've seen with these police officers coming in now to help with terrorism and stuff like that, and the terrorist attacks that we've had across the country. A lot of them left from their neighbourhood duty to come now and help. So that means all those places they're coming from, then that area do not have no police officers there. So anything could happen there, and there's no help. And this is because of a conservative government. They failed us. They failed our country. They failed us on security. Another thing they failed us on is the NHS. The NHS is unfunded. It's got an immense deficit, and that's all due to a conservative government that we've had for 7 years, who's made so many cuts. Waiting times are sky high, man. Like I remember I went there when I thought I broke my leg. I waited nearly 3 hours. 3 hours. It's ridiculous, man. And a lot of these, as I said earlier, a lot of these doctors, nurses, like they work extremely hard hours. Like I know this, especially because my mom used to be a nurse and a midwife. Like they work hours and hours. Even sometimes when my mom's meant to be going home, like she's still there, putting in her time, man. And like they're just paid peanuts, bro. They're just treated like shit. And yeah, man. And conservatives, they don't have a real plan to how to fund the NHS. They don't have a plan. All they want to do is cut, freeze, pay rises, and privatize the NHS. And when we go into privatize, they want to privatize half of the NHS actually. And when we go into that, we're going to see and end up in a system where we're going to have to be paying just go to the hospital, like in America, which is ridiculous because America is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and people are simply dying just because they can't afford to go to the hospital, pay for their health. That's ridiculous. What kind of system that is, only God knows. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's basically it. Labour, my only problem with Labour is that they've promised a lot of things, especially abolish tuition fees. I'm not too sure if they're gonna do it or not. They've said they've gone all in on this, and even Jeremy Corbyn said they will start working on it as soon as he get into power. Whether that happens or not, that would be something we have to find out and see. But I just hope that the Labour Party and Jeremy Corbyn is careful with making promises like this, because we saw this happen to the Liberal Democrats, where they promised to abolish tuition fees, and when they got in the coalition, they voted in favour to increase tuition fees. So if Jeremy Corbyn doesn't promise that, and then he can expect to lose a lot of young people. The Labour Party, we won't see a Labour government for several years if those promises aren't met. And also my other issue with the Labour Party is just that right now the party is just so divided. MPs fighting one another at a time where it's so crucial, man. Should be coming together. Half of Jeremy Corbyn's MPs don't even want to be in his cabinet. He still has cabinet seats that are not even filled. How he goes about doing that if he becomes prime minister, I don't know. Also, I know just people like Dan Abbott. Like, I'm a fan of Dan Abbott. I love her. Obviously, the first black MP and female MP in Parliament. That's a huge achievement. And she's a great person. I've met her personally. And yeah, and but on two occasions where she should have known key issues, key important issues, that's not on at all, man. Like, if you're gonna be running the country, you need to know these things. You need to know what you're gonna do. What's your policy? You need to have the facts and figures there. And I don't know, through this, there's a lot of information that these Labour MPs do not know. They're not sure about things, and in some cases, I'm worried that if we have a Labour government, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of like, they're going to be uncertain about so many things, and there's going to be a lot of chaos. And so yeah, so that's my only problem with voting Labour. So yeah, that's basically it, really. And yeah, a lot of, like, even to touch upon terrorism. What I always find interesting about these terrorists is that these secret services always are aware of these people, and why they're not doing more to prevent these people from taking out these evil acts or terrorism. It's ridiculous. But then I do understand their case in terms of the police and stuff like that. Due to the cuts from the Conservative government, they're not able to have the resources to go and do these things and prevent stuff and do more thorough investigations and all of that stuff. So, mate, so yeah, under the Conservative government, like, they've put they've put our people, sorry, they put our people at risk. They put us all at risk with these police cuts. What they do now, I don't know. As far as I know, I haven't really seen Theresa May done anything major in terms of trying to protect us from these evil people. But yeah, well, anyway. So those are just my thoughts and opinions. But I guess you guys are watching this basically to find out who am I going to vote for, and obviously for me weighing up the pros and the cons, I am, and then this is official, I am going to be endorsing Jeremy Corbyn to win. I am going to be voting for Labour tomorrow, and that's just simply because, not because I necessarily believe he is a strong leader, not necessarily because I believe Labour can lead as a government, but it's just down to their policies. I believe, and Jeremy Corbyn, in terms of his ideologies, I also agree with them. I'm all for socialism. I'm all for everybody helping one another, everybody having the opportunity and the fair opportunity to succeed and to do whatever they want, so they can have a better life for themselves and their families. And the fact that people are criticising Jeremy Corbyn for increasing taxes if he's in government, it's ridiculous. Like, those people who are earning so much money, yes, I understand a lot of you worked so hard. Some people have inherited that wealth, and some people have just been born in a rich family and they've been lucky. There's some people who's worked their way up from the bottom to the top. I absolutely understand that. But at the end of the day, there's people out here who haven't haven't been lucky enough to come from a wealthy family. Some of them don't really have the access or know how to in terms of bettering themselves and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people out here struggling, man. Like there's people, parents I know that are working 3 jobs just to put dinner on the table, man. Like my mom's worked so hard, and like what does she have to show for it? Nothing, man. So like the people like this, like, you know what I mean, they just need our help. And even if it's just a small amount of increase in taxes, man, come on, like, are you really that selfish that you don't care about others? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna be backing and supporting and voting for Jeremy Corbyn and Labour. But who do I think is gonna win? I'm not quite sure. It's gonna be tough. About 70% of me thinks that Conservative will win, unfortunately, and that's me just being simply honest. And that's just because obviously Brexit. Theresa May's promised that she will follow through with Brexit, even though she voted against it. But people who voted for Brexit are going to want somebody who's going to actually go full course on Brexit and deliver. Also, leadership. I feel like in terms of leader, she's a stronger leader. That's just my opinion. And yeah, so I feel like Conservative will win, but hopefully not to large majority. And then I've seen people mention about, well, if Labour doesn't win and there isn't a strong Conservative majority, then Labour could potentially link up and join in a coalition with Liberal Democrats. I don't think that would be wise. Or SNP, I don't know about that. I think that would be another chaotic government, but we'll see. I'm in favour of a Labour government anyway. But yeah, that's my opinion. Hope you guys vote for whoever you feel can relate and help you guys out. And yeah, make sure you vote tomorrow. You got by 10 p.m. tomorrow to vote.